All right, let's move on to our next spot. Seahawks, Dolphins. Seahawks, Dolphins. See what we are dealing with. Bet365 opened up Seattle -7 at even money. It's now 6.5. There's 1-7 left on the board. This total opened up at 54.5, and that's where it stands right now. It stands at 54.5. Wilson threw 5 touchdown passes, set a record for most scoring passes first 3 games of the season with 14. He looks spectacular. 27 of 40 for 315 yards. Lockett sets a career high with 3 TD receptions, 9 catches for 100 yards. But, and there's a massive but, which makes me want to take the Dolphins here, as this is a tricky road spot for Seattle. They suffered big injuries. Jamal Adams, Chris Carson, Adams with a groin strain early in the 4th, pulled himself from the game, limping on the sideline. I don't expect him to be rushed back. He's too important to the team. Carson suffers a sprained knee. Seattle lost both starting guards. Mike Iupati with a sprained knee. Damian Lewis with a sprained ankle in the first half. Then rookie linebacker Jordan Brooks comes in. He sprains his knee. Dolphins coming off 31-13 win in Jacksonville. They look very good. We've already spoken about that game briefly, but a lot went wrong for the Jags in that spot. Fitzpatrick goes 18 for 20, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns. Man, hard to not cheer for the guy when you watch him. He's playing well. He's playing with fire. He's 37, and he's the only guy over 30 on that football team.
Fitzpatrick you want to cheer for because he doesn't feel like a pro athlete. He feels like your buddy Doug that, all their quarterbacks got hurt and Doug was sitting in the front row and the coach is like, you look like you could chuck a ball, and Doug got in there and he's pretty decent. That's why we all love Fitzy. To me, this feels like a letdown game for Seattle. It really does. Not just because of the injuries, just because of the way they've been flying so high. I'm off this game. When it first came out, I was like, man, that's I want Seattle in this. Their offense has been so potent, and they're probably still going to roll. The Carson injury hurts, but they still have Carlos Hyde, who I think has never been given a fair shake, even though he goes and gets it done wherever he goes. He overachieves. I still like him, but I mean, it's hard to bet on Miami in this spot, but I also think it's a letdown game for Seattle. I'm off it for that reason.
I have to take the Dolphins here. With the injuries the Seahawks have, now traveling, Dolphins feel so good about themselves. They're buying Flores' literature, man.
I agree with you. I think they believe in Flores, and it makes them a better team in these tough games. But it's so hard to bet against Seattle right now, the way Wilson is playing. It's like Wilson feels slighted about the 0 MVP votes. And injuries to his O-line, when is that? He's never had an O-line. It doesn't matter who you put out in front of him. So for that reason, I can't bet on Miami. But it does feel like a letdown spot. So for that reason, I can't bet on Seattle. But if you force me to make a pick, it wouldn't be on Miami. And Jimmy, I know you like to play, and I know I get why you're doing this here, and I appreciate why you're doing this. I just can't.
I understand. Northander says Byron will lock up Metcalf. Is he going to be playing? Because he had a groin / Achilles tendon injury. Number 1 quarterback, Byron Jones. Look, if Northander, if your idea is that Byron will lock up Metcalf, that's why you want to make the bet, I would pump the brakes there, because I don't know if Byron Jones is playing. Do you know, Bebsy, if Byron Jones will be in the lineup?
I have not heard, but if he is, he won't be playing at 100%.
So that is a concern. Saying X can also.
Joseph Gomez is saying, "What's the Seattle D against opposing tight end Gesicki? Will need to go off." That's the thing, is the only real strength left in the Seattle D is their linebackers. So I don't expect a huge game for Gesicki. Although I'm super high on him. I was high on him in the draft. He's a physical freak, and this seems to be his coming out party so far this year. Just don't love this play at all.
Well, I'm going to pull the trigger. Here. Dolphins plus 6.5 at -110. We have three more. 4 more 1 o'clock games. Okay, let's speed it up. My fault for humming and hawing in some of these situations. Although we did cross the 2.5 hour mark last week.